Hello and welcome back. This is episode 30 of my Realignment 2028 series as the expansion team Oakland A's. We are at the All-Star break / just completed the draft. Currently 58-31 with the league's best record. This is definitely a team that should compete for the World Series. I think I ended the last episode by, at the trade deadline, wanting to focus on our bullpen as it's struggled a bit this year. And we found a potential offer in Franklin Yerman, probably Yerman. He's been solid the last two seasons, again, doing well this season. Not too expensive, a little on the old side, but doesn't cost much at all to get him. And then we're kind of doing a 2-for-1 trade here. We could get him for just Carter Jensen, but by throwing in Joe Soliday, who's been a little disappointing this year, and he is 25 years old. I'm fine with giving him up in order to get back Joe McWilliam, who is in arbitration, but is someone that could kind of potentially be a shortstop type role or utility type role in the future for us, maybe even this season. And he hits lefties well, at least from his ratings. I haven't actually checked his splits yet, but yeah, his splits confirm that he's way better against lefties than righties, which is also a need for our team. So that's I think a good get here. We also pick up Jose Gomez basically for free. He's listed as a catcher. He'd probably only be a DH, but is absolutely crushing the ball in AAA right now. So you don't hate having him at 23 years old. And again, he should absolutely crush left-handed pitching. I would expect, he's, crushing both right now, but way better against left-handed pitching. OPS plus of 200 against lefties currently. So, I think this is a trade that makes sense. Both for us in terms of improving our team and also for the Padres because they really need help at catcher. They've been starting Brady Neal, who's just, an okay fielder, but not really getting it done for them. We've got two solid catchers on our roster and also two young catchers in Selman and Roberts, who could slot in if we needed to fill in for like injury replacements. Carter Jensen we signed in the offseason just kind of as insurance, and he's not really someone that I mind losing, especially to get more bullpen depth, which we desperately need right now. So I guess not desperately, but we could use it. Still kind of searching for that shortstop of the future. I will complete this trade. I think it's becoming increasingly unlikely that that we are going to bring back Volpe next year. And he's kind of, he started to come on a little bit, but you can see, his April was awful. May was okay, but not great. June was great. July has been okay so far. So we'll see if he can kind of keep ramping it up as the year goes on. I do have to figure out who is going to go back down. It's probably going to be Javier Sandoval. In fact, it is going to be him. He's got options and could probably use some more time in the minors, and then Yerman's going to slot in middle relief. And actually we'll use him more often and set up. All three of these guys, honestly. Chris Cortez, I didn't notice too, but I do want to note that he was someone who started off kind of rough, had some time in the minors, did well there, and has, brought his ERA all the way down to sub 3, which is great. That's kind of what we hoped for when we, I was going to say signed him, but we actually claimed him off of waivers. So, our faith in him has been rewarded. Bourgeois doing well, coming off of injury. Ayala has yet to give up a run in, 4 appearances. So small sample size, but our bullpen is looking good. Eddie Rainville, by the way, has brought his ERA down as well, slotting in well as that 5th starter after the injury to Jose Bello in the last episode. So, we're going to see if we can pass Joe McWilliam through waivers. If not, I'll have to figure out who to waive here and or trade. Could it be Kason Cunningham maybe? I don't know. He's been a little on the disappointing side this year, but not awful. We'll have to see. Ideally, I'll just stash him in the minors until there's an injury or until we need him, basically. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to kind of keep poking around, seeing if there's a shortstop of the future out there somewhere. I mean, last year we had Nimala come out of nowhere and become available, which, we traded for him, and then the Pirates won the World Series. One of the weirder things that I've seen, if any of you are Bill Simmons fans out there, his Ewing theory is kind of coming into effect there, where you lose your best player and then everyone kind of rallies and does way better than you would expect, and that was definitely the case for the Pittsburgh Pirates last year when Nimala, by all accounts, was probably their best player, and then they got some solid pieces back from us, but should not have you wouldn't expect them to make the World Series, let's just put it that way, let alone win. But it is the playoffs. Anything can happen. I mean, we've seen that firsthand plenty of times. We had the best record last season and got bounced in the first round. So we're going to try to avoid having that happen again. But that involves, shoring up any weaknesses we can at the trade deadline. So let's keep going here, and I'll see if there's any other good trades out there for our team. All right, so we have another trade cooked up here. We're giving up Hector De La Rosa and Ramon Trejo, both guys who look kind of like quad A kind of players. De La Rosa's almost 25, pretty much a pure DH, but hitting decently well in AAA. And then Trejo also hitting well in AAA, but we don't really have a spot for him right now. We got him off of waivers from Detroit earlier in the season. And so for that, we will get Justin Martinez, who's been excellent in relief. The Blue Jays, by the way, are 39 and 55, so definitely makes sense that they would be selling. And also we get Wyatt Sanford, who is an intriguing kind of player, really high defense, do a decent amount in arbitration next year, but definitely a player that's worth taking on, especially since, money's not too big of a deal for us. And then Clement and Scott Davis are both kind of minor league filler kind of guys that just I'm throwing in because why not? But Sanford and Martinez are the two gets here. I will have to figure out how I'm going to structure my roster because I'd like both of them on my active roster, and I don't really know how to do that, especially since the 40 man is full. So let's go ahead and complete this trade, and then I'll have to see exactly what I want to do. I think waiving Dylan Smith is an option. I don't really have a good long reliever then. but I guess we can figure that out. And then in terms of Wyatt Sanford, yeah, I mean, Benitez has only batted 4 times, so he might be the call here, or we could look to trade Case and Cunningham maybe. I mean, he's continued to kind of be a little disappointing, so maybe we look to flip him. I don't know. Let me see what I want to do with those guys. Alright, so this is kind of an odd trade to be making, but I think Casey Cunningham has become kind of expendable now with the acquisition of Wyatt Sanford. So we're going to go ahead and trade this off, or take this offer from the Red Sox. 2 very good prospects that they're offering for him. It does make a potential rival in the playoffs stronger if Cunningham goes over and does well for them, but I think what we're getting back is really good. I mean, Ramirez is only 20 years old in A-ball, doing well, probably ready for A+. Yeah, and just looks very, very solid overall. And then Kelleher, control sucks, but he's got potential if that control can go up. His stuff is 85 potential. I'm a sucker for those kind of players. So for someone who's basically, been, I guess, a little disappointing this year and is kind of expendable, I'll take those prospects back. So sure, we will do that. And that lets Wyatt Sanford go on to our roster, and so we'll have to adjust the lineup slightly, and I'll go ahead and pause and do that, and we'll see what our new lineups look like after that trade. Okay, so here's what our bullpen looks like now. Yerman's actually going to slot into long relief for us because I guess someone has to. He's got the highest stamina actually at 35, and in his one game he gave up some runs, a run, but yeah, I'd rather have Martinez in middle relief, and then we're looking a lot better, I think, in terms of our overall bullpen. Starters were already looking good. Lineups, interestingly enough, we are going to platoon Sanford and Volpe at shortstop. Sanford actually has a better OPS against righties this year than Volpe does, so he will be the starter against righties, with Volpe playing every other game. I mean, he'll get plenty of playing time still, practically the starter, and then Volpe will still be the starter against lefties. Sanford is a lefty, so it makes sense. He doesn't bat well against them, so still potentially a need for us as we get deeper into the season. But we've got some potential guys in the minors too. Jacob Kendall I'd like to call up at some point. He's not really going to be a lefty guy, but we've got a few players that have potential. Joe McWilliam, who we just traded for, should bat well against lefties. So, we'll have to see how this goes. I think we're going to keep simming. I don't know. I don't think we're going to probably have a lot of other trades before the trade deadline here, unless some absolute blockbuster kind of materializes here. I don't foresee myself really making any crazy big moves before then. So, I will go ahead and show the trade deadline live. So that'll probably be the next stop here as we continue simming. So see you soon. It is July 31st, and it is the trading deadline. Did want to note, very small sample size, but a lot of losses here after the All-Star break. 2 tough series against the Cleveland Guardians and the Twins, both of whom look to be playoff teams this year. But yeah, anytime you lose 7 games in a row, it's not great. And yeah, I think the bullpen ERA has actually gone down to 4, even though we added to our bullpen. So, some of that could just be guys adjusting to being on a new team. Our guys are starting to settle in a little bit. Yerman has struggled a tad, but still not really concerned at the moment. Martinez appears to be settling in nicely. And then Ayala, continuing to be consistent as well. Giving up more home runs, but walking less than he did with Philly. So Wyatt Sanford has been a little disappointing so far, but super small sample size. So we'll see how it's going. And Benitez finally getting some at bats against lefties has brought that OPS plus over 100, which is good. That's kind of what we want to see from him. In terms of the trade deadline, probably not looking to make a lot of active moves here. Just maybe looking to see, if there are guys that I can flip. There's not just anyone that's jumping out at me. I kind of toyed with the idea of trading for someone like, Jordan Walker, who, just looking at splits, he hits, where is he at? He hits lefties pretty well, although I can't see him in this now for some reason. Maybe I'm just blind. Okay. Cooper Kinney actually having a good season. Wanted to shout that out. They brought him back for $9 million, and he's kind of proved me wrong in terms of having a good season. Goss hasn't done much for us this year, but is still waiting in the wings in AAA, if we want to potentially bring him up for more bullpen help. Sal Stewart is, for some reason, on the trading block for the Mariners. I don't think that trade makes a lot of sense for either side. Same with DJ Gladney for the Guardians. There's Jordan Walker. You can see his splits, much better. Not much better, but better versus left than right. Actually, I am just looking and seeing that is a pretty low sample size, but still, I am not wowed by a lot of the options that are out there. Sebastian Walcott is an interesting name, but I think it would cost too much to get him, especially since he'd be a pure rental. I think we just probably stay put here at the deadline. Again, unless there's some ridiculous trade offer out there somewhere. Let's see, who would I even want to trade on our team? I'll just go ahead and throw everyone who's 26 or older on the trading block in my minors. I'll listen to offers for Volpe as well. Just because he is in the last year of his deal, basically. And, maybe there's a good offer out there for him. I don't think any of the other guys on my big league roster, it really makes sense to trade. Either they're young or I just traded for them. Wade Shelley is a name that maybe I could see myself trading for the right player. And then, we'll go ahead and throw all these guys on here too. But I'm probably not going to be actively shopping. I mean, I guess I could for Volpe, just to purely see what's out there. Let's go ahead and get into the trading deadline and see And yeah, this was a trade that I like kind of was toying with, and they still weren't willing to accept this. They wanted more. And again, I don't think it makes a ton of sense. Volpe, let's retain 100% of his salary, prospects and regulars, and shortstop. What could we get back? Lots of guys who are not shortstops. Jonathan Corey looks interesting. Juan Cabada, no. Greg Peace. Yeah, I mean, just nothing that really is jumping out at me in terms of like, this is a great trade to help us both now and in the future. I mean, those are hard trades to pull off, I feel like, but yeah, we'll see if there's anything out there. Let's go back to trade deadline. This was not a deal that I was particularly interested in. This was not a deal I was particularly interested in for Wade Shelley. I mean, yeah. Olivares, I'm not really interested in trading at all. Any other big names? Cutter Coffee, does he count as a big name? He's a big name to us. Having a mediocre season. Yeah, not a lot of big trades so far. Okay, let's go ahead and advance the trading deadline day. Let's see, we don't get any more offers. Sebastian Walcott. I mean, he has been a consistently good player, but I don't think we have the money to re-sign him, and I also don't know what it would take to get him in a trade. And in terms of other, bats out there, Zach Veen is not a name that I'm super excited about. Cooper Kinney, I mean, we traded him away. Alex Freeland, I think I looked at Alex Freeland and he straight up, exercised his no trade clause. He does not want to come here for whatever reason. We'll have to see. I don't think there's probably going to be much action here at the trading deadline. We did get a proposal. Okay, so Norris York and Galeno for Wade Shelley. I mean, that's not awful. I'd be more interested in receiving back like major league caliber talent for Shelley. And does that make sense for the Mets to do? I mean, maybe, but probably not. Juan Soto is a name. He's fallen off quite a bit in the last 2 years. Had kind of he's still leading the league in walks pretty much every year because he's Juan Soto. But Jackson Holiday, he's probably getting paid a lot of money, and he is. Juan Estrada. Traded with the Yankees to get Juan Estrada. Yeah, I'm not particularly interested in a lot of these guys. Eric Schrader would be the only name that I'm maybe interested in, and what would it take to get him? It's not impossible. It would cost something like Wade Shelley or Izzy Chavez. Izzy Chavez, by the way, is absolutely crushing AAA right now, and is a guy that we traded for along with Ayala at the end of June. And yeah, so far he is showing that he probably deserves to be in the major leagues. But I just don't have a spot for him right now. And kind of same with Schrader. Like my bullpen is kind of full up right now unless I want to flip someone else. Yeah, I don't see this happening. Let's go ahead and add new, and we'll do shortstop, age max 26, who is a major leaguer, superstar potential. Okay. And we'll see if anyone decides to offer anything in that range. Danny Cruz for Kevin Lampton and Brian Smith. Kevin Lampton, yeah, not super excited about Kevin Lampton, so we're going to reject that trade. Yeah. Jake Bennett. Okay, so this was kind of a big trade. Morobel went to the Padres in exchange for Jamie Murphy and Mark Markley. Oh, that's a name right there. Mark Markley. I will, in fact, add him to my names list. Yeah, but in terms of actual trades that I'm interested in making, still, not really seeing much out there. Marshall Toole. Yeah, let's look again at Walcott, because I don't. Yeah, and see, like, we'd have to retain a bunch of salary. Have to have them retain a bunch of salary, like Barco and Grant. I don't want to give up Grant. Barco, Chacon. I don't want to give up Chacon, but I think this is where I got to before. Fernandez and who else? What about someone like Alex Gutierrez? Doesn't really move the needle. Izzy Chavez doesn't move the needle. They need a shortstop. We don't really have a lot to offer in that regard. They kind of need a center fielder. Do we have anyone that's like Kevin Alcantara? I mean, he moves slightly, maybe. No, I don't think any of these trades make sense. 65, yeah. Yeah, 1 second. Okay. So, Fugate's honestly been doing well this season, about as well as Walcott has. So, it's not even really an upgrade, unless I want to play him at shortstop, which I don't really want to do. Yeah, I think this is just a case where we stand pat at the trading deadline. We received another trading proposal. Matt Phipps for Wade Shelley. We've also got an offer for Kevin Alcantara. Let's check this out. Angel Bastardo, pretty bad. Manny De La Torre, decent. And Alfredo Gonzalez for Kevin Alcantara. also got this offer, Starlin Castillo. Yeah, and I'm not super excited about that one. Let's look and see. I mean, we're basically just taking on salary in exchange for picking up Alfredo Gonzalez, and Manny De La Torre could be. I mean, they've used him as a starter. He could be a reliever potentially. We do have a lot of outfielders in our system currently. I don't think, yeah, it just makes sense for the Rockies to do. They're in the edge of competing and need a center fielder. Sure, why not? It doesn't let us alter the deal at all, but I think this is fine. Money's not a big deal for us at the moment. We pick up a prospect. I will be waiving both of these guys. Probably just straight up releasing Bastardo. But we pick up a prospect. That's something. And yeah, he'll be in the Arizona Complex League. Probably, can I send him to the DSL? Yeah, I probably would want him to be there. At 17 years old. So I think we finished the trade deadline there. And yeah, we'll look to see how we finish the month of July. Definitely worse than June. But yeah, we shored up a bit of our needs at the trading deadline, I think, as best we could. And yeah, we'll have to see kind of how the rest of the season goes. Let's go ahead and sim today. Okay, and yeah, Alex Rivera, by the way, continues to improve. He's looking absolutely incredible. Still only 20 years old, by the way, and putting up 2.8 WAR in his rookie season. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Hudson still doing well. Any other big potential? Alex Gutierrez looking like he will be playing in the big leagues before the year is done. Danny Cruz had a good year in the A's Nueva. Jorge Vela doing very well. Izzy Chavez, I think mentioned him. Pete Bush potentially could get another look at the big league level. Pena. Yeah, I mean, those numbers don't jump out at you as good, but I mean, that's the Dominican Rookie League is a high scoring environment. So, Sean Scott. Okay, yeah, he's got 3.6 WAR. That's pretty good. All right. As we won our last game in July 6-0, Aguilar with a shutout start, and German coming on and bringing his ERA down in the process. So we like to see that. Yeah, so I'll go through and adjust minor leagues. We do have to figure out what to do with Brett Warren. Probably going to try to pass him through waivers, given that he's struggled in his starts so far. He's got 3-star potential allegedly, but I don't know that he's going to live up to that at age 25, coming off an injury. So we'll see. Jose Bello back in 5 weeks, so we will get him back before the end of the year, sometime in September. that'll be good as we kind of gear up for the playoffs. I mean, that's going to be the goal here. We are 13 games ahead of the Angels for the division, so we're basically just looking to clinch here and also looking to grab that first round bye, which will be competing, looks like, with the Twins and the Guardians for that one. One of whom will be stuck with the wild card spot. Yeah, that's kind of rough. Yeah, so we'll keep going here, and definitely will show September 1st. That'll be roster expansion, and again, that'll go up to 30 players. Lots of interesting names potentially could see the roster here. Izzy Chavez definitely deserves a shot. Gutierrez is coming on strong. Fernandez putting up a lot of good numbers in AAA. Jacob Kendall we possibly want as a backup here. Nossaman still hanging around. Phil Feldman, he's struggled a little bit in AAA. He's probably still a year away. But Pete Bush, Contreras, yeah, a lot of interesting names here. So yeah, we're gonna keep simming, and I will for sure stop September 1st. If there's any interesting things before that, I will let you know. Quick injury update here. Eddie Aguilar has a herniated disc, out for 1 to 2 weeks. We're playing it safe with him and just tossing him on the IL. That'll give Pete Bush a chance to kind of show what he can do in a few starts here out of AAA, where he's been doing pretty well throughout this season. So get him a bit more big league experience, maybe keep him on in long relief depending on how other things go. Yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. But so far, August going a little better. We finished July 15-11, and we are 3-2 so far in August, so technically better. Yeah, still not really in danger of losing our division lead, but really what we're concerned about is Guardians are just a game behind us now for best record in the AL Midwest, and top 2 teams get a bye, so we want to stay in position to get that bye. We are 4 games up on the Red Sox, but still we want to, and ideally clinch our division and go into September trying to get guys a lot of rest, get some more AAA guys some playing time to kind of evaluate them as we move into the playoffs. Definitely don't want to have any injuries heading into the playoffs. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Gonna keep rolling through August here. It is now September 1st, and yeah, we're 80-53. Tied for the best record in the MLB. Don't look now, but here come the Chicago White Sox. This is going to be a bloodbath to decide the AL Midwest here. Yeah, Guardians 3 games back, Twins 4 games back. Whoever doesn't win that division will likely grab the 2 wild card spots, barring, a miracle run from the Red Sox here. Yeah, so we are currently tied for the lead in the AL in terms of record. Our August was pretty good, I'd say. 15-12. Still not maybe as high as I would have hoped for, but you're certainly not going to complain about that. And yeah, we are to roster expansion. Some interesting choices to make here. Namely, making room on the 40-man. Joel Johnson, who we got in a trade with Pittsburgh, was on the 40-man. We're going to try to pass him through waivers, but there's a decent chance he'll get claimed. German, who we traded for, has been a little on the disappointing side. We're also going to try to pass him through waivers. And then Tony Rosario, putting up ERA over 5 in both AAA and the majors this year. Yeah, he is only 22, so again, we hope he passes through, but we'll see. And yeah, a lot of kind of difficult choices to make there in order to make room for Jose Bello coming back from injury. He's been out for a while, and his first rehab start did not go well, so we're going to let him have at least one more rehab start in AAA, assuming that the AAA schedule is still going. And let's see, yeah, it is still going. So one more start in AAA. Yeah, and so a spot also opened up because German was on the active roster, so Justin Barco gets another chance at the major leagues. He only played in one game before, was not particularly impressive, but has been good in AAA, so we'll see what he can do in the majors. He's got great stuff, not great control. So, his numbers are kind of crazy here. 13.5 K per 9, 13.5 walks per 9, 13.5 home runs per 9. So really kind of highly volatile pitcher at the moment. He's either going to strike you out, walk you, or give up a home run. There's not really much of a in between there. Pete Bush and Jose Contreras come up to be our long relievers and to get some more experience. Jose Contreras started the year in AA, but has been excellent throughout AA and AAA, so he'll get a chance to show what he can do here. He's the number 89 prospect in baseball, by the way. I haven't looked at our minor league system since the draft, and at some point I did turn on dynamic prospect rankings. It was previously on just updating twice a year, I think. So I like having the more dynamic prospect rankings. We do have 4 currently in the top 100, but somehow that's still only good for 22nd out of 32. I guess our highest one is only 31st. Danny Sanchez progressing decently well through the minors, and Kyle Jackson and Mario Chacon, both still, not putting up amazing numbers at AA, but hanging in there. So they're going to stay there for now. Alex Rivera, formerly our top prospect, is now, I think, has enough major league service time that he's not considered a prospect anymore, although he still shows up with the prospect ranking of number 9. But truly amazing rookie season. I'll be shocked if he does not get Rookie of the Year. Across just 108 innings, he's put up 4.4 pitcher WAR, close to the lead in pitcher WAR. The leaders have 5.1, 4.8, 4.6, and that's despite only pitching 108 innings, starting the year in AAA, and being on a pretty strict pitch count throughout the entire season. He's got the potential, depending on how the last month of the season goes, for in being in contention for a Cy Young, or at least being in top 5 for Cy Young. I don't remember how that works in relation to the prospect promotion incentive, but there's a chance if he does well enough in the Cy Young voting or wins Rookie of the Year. I think that gets us a comp pick in the first round, which would be excellent. Promote actually bringing those guys up to the majors instead of playing games with their service time, which I didn't really do with him. I think despite he did really well in spring training, but I think it was justified to start him in AAA, given that he ended the season last year, with a 5.35 ERA in AAA. Ratings look good, but wanted to just confirm that he was ready for the big leagues, and he has shown that he has been ready in a big way. He's also up to a 3.5 star overall, still continuing to develop, still only 21 years old, just turned 21. The future is very, very bright for Alex Rivera. He deserves a nickname. I don't really know what to call him yet. So if you have a good nickname for him, feel free to leave it in the comments. The best one I can come up with, which I don't know if this is offensive, I don't think it is, but I'm going to go with the Cuban Missile Crisis for now, thanks to his nationality and the fact that he throws absolute gas. He's more of a, control-oriented pitcher with a deep arsenal more than a blow you away with pure speed kind of guy. So, we'll see. And in terms of batters making it into our lineups, Izzy Chavez was just crushing AAA. We got him in a trade with Philly. He will slot in, and he's basically our backup DH and one of the first guys off the bench for pinch hitting. I did want to continue to give Benitez at bats, as he's been doing well against lefties. Still limited opportunities, but doing well in those limited opportunities. Joe McWilliam gets the other slot. His numbers on the surface don't look great, but if you look at his splits again, way, way better against lefties. And so he will be our backup against lefties, and also one of the first bats off the bench. Kind of an audition for one of those playoff roster spots. We also adjusted to using James Hudson as a stopper instead of a closer. With a 35 stamina, I think it makes more sense to do that. And that has allowed us to put Orion Kerkering in at closer. And it's kind of a weird scenario where a lot of the guys in our bullpen so far that have a good ERA have a bit of a higher FIP, so I don't necessarily know what to go off of here. Especially like Hudson. Hudson's kind of in the middle in the road for both, but ratings wise should be somewhere towards the back end of our bullpen, or front end of our bullpen. I don't know, but towards the end of the game, more high leverage kind of guy. Bourgeois has also done really well. Martinez, who we traded for, has done really well. Ayala continues to do well. Actually doing even better for us than he was for Philly. 1.54 ERA. So those trades continuing to pay dividends. And we'll have to see. Jose Bello ideally will probably move to a 6-man rotation once he's back from injury. Also to give guys some extra rest here. We'll have to keep going with that. I don't have too much else to say. I guess I'll touch on WAR. Zimmerman edging out DeJesus for team lead in WAR right now, purely on the strength of his bat. He's not getting any contribution from his fielding at all. DeJesus isn't a great fielder either by any means. So both these guys just crushing the ball and making the most of that. PCA adding a ton of value through stolen bases. He's on pace for 50 this year. And of course, his elite defense. If we look at standings here, he is leading the AL and probably the league. Harold Rivas for Colorado has more zone rating than him, but just barely. And he doesn't hit well at all. So, PCA continuing to show why he's a valuable member of this team, why he deserves to have that big contract that he's got. He's only a few WAR behind, like 0.3 WAR behind Zimmerman for the team league. Namala started the year hot, has cooled off a little bit, but still on pace for a 4 WAR season. We will absolutely take that. Wyatt Sanford, also cooled off a bit, but has started to heat up kind of recently. Um, July after we acquired him was not amazing. August has been much better. And that's kind of what we were hoping for in terms of, he's always going to be more of a contributor with his defense than his bat. Although his defense for us has been a little on the disappointing side so far. But yeah. And then Fugate continuing to do well. He's up to a 3-star overall player. He's, showing that he can be an everyday third baseman. Vela's showing that he can be an everyday outfielder for us as well. Grant taking a step back a little bit this year, but still not a bad season by any means. Moss is continuing to contribute, on pace for exactly as much WAR that he contributed last year, although in way more plate appearances. Austin Wells, definitely a step back as well. We've got him under contract for 2 more years. Yeah, and just because I'm curious and because I always like to compare the two, how is Drake Baldwin doing? Ooh, Drake Baldwin's having a rough season. So definitely we're getting the better of the two this year. Yeah, and I also haven't checked for a while on, let's see here, as we go and we'll search for shortstops. Overall, we want to find Mason Wynn because that was again, one of the big decisions that we had to make in that free agency period when we signed Volpe, was between him and Mason Wynn. And yeah, I don't know who actually kind of got the better end of that deal. Let's see. So he's put up 17.3 WAR for the White Sox, and Volpe has put up 17.8 WAR for us. Wow. Okay. So what did I say? 17.3? Yeah. So 0.5 more WAR. It is really kind of, a toss-up between the two in terms of WAR. Kind of incredible, honestly. The upside here is that I think we still made the correct decision based on the fact that Mason Wynn is now wrecked injury proneness, and he's under contract. Oh, they extended him. Why would you extend him? Ooh, that's okay. I was gonna say, yeah, I thought he was under contract for more years, but it looks like they just went ahead and extended him. Yeah, that's questionable when he's wrecked injury proneness, but I guess we'll see how it works out for them. Yeah, I mean, we definitely don't have a immediate replacement for Volpe in our system at the moment, so we're going to keep simming through September. Definitely will note if and when we clinch the division. I mean, that should hopefully be coming soon. And then we'll look to, I mean, we'll want to go to a 6-man rotation ideally, but we'll have to keep an eye on the Yankees, because we want to make sure to get one of those 2 first round bye slots, right? Kind of ride that balance between resting guys and competing for that spot. Don't want to play in the wild card round, given that the playoffs are very random, as we saw last year. Yeah, and the fact that both of the 2 wildcard teams are going to be, arguably better teams than either the Yankees or the Royals or the White Sox or Red Sox, I guess, whoever comes out of the East and the South. I mean, it's looking like the Royals, it's looking like probably the Yankees, but the Red Sox have a chance, and they have an outside chance maybe at a wild card spot. But what odd-wise do they have? They have a 19% chance at the playoffs, and the wild card spot, yeah, basically 19% chance at that. So, yeah, we're currently at 100% chance of winning the division, which is not technically true, but it's close. So, yeah, we'll see how September goes. Yeah, and I'll definitely cut in and show if there's any interesting updates in here. I guess it is worth noting we threw Jacob Kendall on the 40-man roster. That was one of the corresponding moves for waiving Rosario, Yerman, and Johnson, because, you know, if there's any injuries, he's going to be kind of next man up. Given that he's put up a very good year at AAA and that he can play kind of a variety of positions. So we will keep going through September, and yeah, I'll cut in if and when some interesting things happen before the end of the season here. So stay tuned. We have clinched the division, 89-58 currently, 2 games up on the White Sox, 6 games up on the Yankees with about 2 weeks left to play. So I am going to go ahead and go to 6-man rotation. Jose Contreras has been great in long relief, so he'll get a chance to make a spot start or two. With Jose Bello currently in the stopper role, which is likely how I'll use him in the playoffs, but we'll have to see how the end of the season goes here. Also mixing in plenty of rest days now for Zimmerman, for Armstrong, DeJesus, and Namala. Yeah, to kind of close out the year, because we don't want any of those guys to get hurt going into the playoffs. So we'll see how the end of the year goes. Ideally, we'll keep, going strong here and finish with the best record in the league, but definitely trying to balance that with getting guys some rest. We'll see how things kind of go here. As Connor Griffin has a 4-WAR season. Would we like to have him right now? Yeah, probably. Anyway, let's keep going through the rest of the season, and I'll probably see you at final day of the season, and we'll see what the playoff picture looks like here. So we are in the last day of the season, October 2nd, and yeah, we unsurprisingly won the division and finished the year 98-64, best record in the league, which means we do get that first round bye, which is so important. Yeah, going through each other division here, the Yankees win the AL East. Red Sox do finish above 500, but still 12 games back in the division. The AL Midwest, the White Sox ended up running away with it, but both the Guardians and Twins grabbed the 2 wild card spots. Both of those teams probably going to be dangerous in the playoffs, along with the Royals, who win the AL South. The Mariners, who are usually in contention for the AL South, do finish above 500, but not quite enough to make it to the playoffs this year. Jordan Sanchez finishes with just 0.5 WAR for them. And who else did we trade to them? Steven Martinez, 1.8 WAR, so slightly better. I think maybe they got slightly the better end of that deal that we made with them. I don't know. I guess we'll see. It will depend on how Velez develops with Pete Bush, if he ends up contributing in the playoffs this year or maybe next year. Yeah, we'll have to see. Eddie Rainville did get a day-to-day injury towards the end of the year, so we shifted back to a 5-man rotation to give him some rest. Didn't throw him on the IL. I think with how the playoffs work out, he will be rested and ready to go for that playoff series, but yeah, we'll have to decide who we'll be getting our 4 starter slots in that series. The only one who is for sure locked into a spot is Alex Rivera. Incredible rookie season. Still limiting his pitch count a little bit, but the gloves are coming off in the playoffs. Even with that fragile injury proneness, we're going to see how far he can go. He's got 70 stamina. He's finishes with 5.4 pitcher WAR, which is good for second in the AL behind Gene Fleming. So you have to imagine, Gene Fleming, led in innings, led in walks per 9 and WAR. He's probably the favorite to get the Cy Young, but I think Rivera's got a shot. 3.2 ERA. Is that a lower ERA than what did Fleming have? 3.42. So it is a lower ERA. In terms of wins, Rivera has how many wins? 11 wins. Fleming has 11 wins, 14 losses. So, it depends on what voters decide to value. Fleming's only 23 as well, so he's another good young pitcher. And Rich Green led in wins, led in walks and strikeouts and Ks per 9, also the lowest ERA of the bunch. So it'll be interesting to see how the Cy Young goes out this year, especially since there could potentially be a comp pick on the line for us. I think if Rookie of the Year, if you get Rookie of the Year, that is potentially one as well. But we'll have to see. And I have to imagine that Rivera's going to get Rookie of the Year, barring some other crazy rookie breakout season, which I'm not aware of one, but there could be one out there. Let's see. Pending more Major League service time. So I guess he might not have accrued a full year of service time, which is good for, salary purposes, but maybe not in terms of getting that comp pick. Aguilar also had a great rookie season. Is that still a rookie season? Yeah, he has accrued a year of service time. He's still ineligible, I think, because he was not a top 100 prospect, despite, being highly rated the entire time. Aguilar, Strapidopoulos continuing to do well, pretty much equivalent season to last year in terms of WAR. Peripherals look better, though. He started 2 less games. WHIP was better. BABIP was better. Strikeouts were down, but walks were also way down, which is great. Gavin Jones continued to put up ace-like numbers. It's just our rotation is very deep this year, and so I don't know if you can call him our ace anymore, but certainly not a bad pitcher by any means. This is top-of-the-line starter for most teams in the league. For our team, we ended up finishing, by the way, first in starter ERA, third in bullpen ERA, first in FIP, first in pitching WAR. So those additions really did help down the stretch. Our bullpen has been great. Jose Contreras could get a bullpen spot in the playoffs too. He was excellent to end the year in just 18.2 innings. Martinez, 1.1 WAR. Most of that was with Toronto, but certainly good for us. Hudson finished with an ERA under 3, appeared in 76 games for us. I don't know how many saves, 39 saves. Bullpen was great. Carrera, despite the 2-star overall, I want to give him a shout out too for being a guy that we got off of waivers. I'll have to look at our playoff roster too, because I'm sure there's always, yeah, like Chris Bourgeois gets left off the playoff roster for some reason, even though he was arguably one of our best relievers. You always have to check that. They always make some interesting choices. In terms of WAR, Zimmerman does finish the year leading the team in WAR with 5. Great season. That Bo Naylor trade in 2029 paying dividends, it turns out, with Zimmerman coming into his own for they got, I think, half a season of Naylor out of that, and we got Zimmerman, who has been, great as a DH type in his first few seasons. DeJesus continuing to put up great numbers, 4.6, even better year than last year, although pretty comparable overall. PCA, 4.5 WAR, that's, kind of what we would hope and expect from him. Good season. Nimala had a good season. Vela finished with 3.1 WAR. Great season for him. Also would be potential Rookie of the Year candidate in a normal year. We could have 3 players in the top 3 for Rookie of the Year, I think, depending on how they decide to count them. Stanford, a little disappointing. He'll probably still make the playoff roster. Although we could look to put in someone like, where it is McWilliam, MC William. I'd be interested to see, against lefties, he's probably better. Alex Gutierrez is an interesting name. I'll have to see how I want to construct the playoff roster here. There's certainly, I think our starting lineup is pretty set, but in terms of our bench, what we decide to go with, one, are we going to go with 13 pitchers or 12? Is a question to ask. And 2, how do we look to construct our bench? Would someone like Izzy Chavez make it in, potentially? Would we go with Jorge Benitez? Would we go with, McWilliam? Would we go with someone who has speed for pure pinch running purposes? Is an option. I don't think we have many good options for that on our roster at the moment, but it's an option. Good season. Let's go ahead and sim here, and we'll see who we'll end up facing in the playoffs to end this episode. Playoff tree. We should be able to go through, and the Royals win and the White Sox win, so I think that means we'll be facing the Royals, but let's see. Yes, we are indeed facing the Royals in the best of 5 division series. I think that's the first time we faced them in a playoff series, so that should be interesting. We'll go over their roster in more detail here, but they're not a slouch. They're not a bad team by any means. First in runs scored, first in stolen bases, second in starter ERA. We're first, of course, and then 14th in bullpen ERA. So I think the key here is going to be to get their starters out of the game early. They've got Oscar Briones, who is excellent, led one of the also contenders for Cy Young, I would say. Leon Gonzalez was great, Ty Briscoe is great, and Tom Giuliani as their 4th starter is also excellent. So definitely want to get to their bullpen early and often. Bobby Witt, still great for their team, although he is day-to-day with an injury currently. And of course, the monster that is Josh Spidell, probably on track for another MVP this season, finishing the year with an OPS over 1,000. He is by far their most dangerous hitter. So playing around him will be key as well. We could look to even intentionally walk him some of these, give him the Barry Bonds treatment, because he's so dangerous and such a good hitter. Like, I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. But I'm interested to see how this playoff series will go. It's our first against the Royals. Definitely want to make up for last season where we didn't make it out of the first round. Well, I guess technically the second round. We got the first round bye again last season, but couldn't make it out of the division series. So we'll see how things go. And also in the NL, the Phillies and the Cardinals won. So we got the Phillies, Mets, Cardinals, and Expos. I didn't go through the NL at all in terms of final division standings. Expos won the division. Braves got the wild card. Cardinals won the NL Central. Dodgers won the NL West. I believe Ohtani has been retired for several seasons now. Do they have anyone left? I don't see Mookie Betts. He must have finally retired as well. Lots of guys that I don't really recognize for the Dodgers. Logan O'Hoppe was an Angels catcher and went to the Dodgers in 2029. Probably one of their longest tenured players at this point. And then, they do have Garrett Crochet, and Corbin Burns still going strong for them as well, after trading for him in 2029. Corbin Burns at age 39 still pitching great. And Suzuki is not a real player. He's a fake Japanese player that has been an elite closer for them. So I am interested to see how these playoffs go. The Mets won the NL Atlantic. Phillies got the wild card, but then in the playoffs, it looks like the Phillies got the best of the Dodgers. The Cardinals beat the Braves, so Phillies advance as a wild card team to face the Mets. Divisional rivalry matchup there. And the Cardinals and Expos. Expos, of course, formerly the Rays. I think most of these teams are pretty unrecognizable in terms of like which players are left on there. We're now 10 years in the future, over 10 years in the future from, real life. Not quite 10 years in the future, but still, not a lot of actual players left. Of course, we've got PCA and Volpe on our team, still going strong. But there's a few players that were left on their original teams. I know we saw Juan Soto. I'd be interested to see. Let's look and see player search. If we sort by age, Brent Rooker on a minor league deal. Mookie Betts on Washington now, still hanging in there, still, putting up negative WAR, arguably hurting his Hall of Fame case by continuing to play. But the longevity is worth noting, I suppose. And is he close to any milestones? Like, he's passed 400 home runs, stolen bases. He's at 274. RBI, I don't know, hits, 2640. He's still hanging in there. One of the oldest players in the league. Seiya Suzuki still technically hasn't retired yet. He did convert to catcher at some point, which is still one of the most bizarre things I've seen in this save. They converted him to catcher, I think, when he was playing for Atlanta. Yordan Alvarez still in there. Nathaniel Lowe playing for Texas. Devers on the Expos now. Of course, in this save, he went on to play for the Red Sox for a long time. Yeah, of course, in real life, he left under not the greatest of circumstances. Austin Riley still playing for the Phillies. Ronald Acuna on the Dodgers now, but injured. Yeah, a lot of guys that. William Contreras is a free agent. O'Neal Cruz for the Diamondbacks. Dylan Dingler. Andres Jimenez. Nolan Jones. Yeah, a lot of these guys just kind of hanging in there. Not putting up great numbers, but just kind of hanging in there. Adley Rutschman did have a WAR of 1 this season. I guess that's noteworthy. Was on the Cubs, now on Houston. Yeah. But Mookie Betts, I'm surprised, is still in there. So anyway, thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Tell all your friends and family to watch the playoffs, where the fictional Oakland A's will take on the fictional Kansas City Royals in the 2034 playoffs. Should be a good series. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.